This is two shy guys a mile high. Cue the damn music. Yo, yo, yo. We back. This is 2CGMHHH. Two shy guys a mile high. We here. It's your boy P-Wil, Drip Chronicles.
It's your boy WB. Come fly with me.
It's your boy Al Digger in the building, the architect. Appreciate you guys tuning in and listening, as always.
Man, that suits you well. You see how we're all about continuous improvement, which for the industrial engineering community is called Kaizen. And the way that this man has just come through and said his name, the architect, with such swagger and made it seem so effortless is a great improvement if you go back to some previous episodes.
And the needling begins.
I'm just wanting to highlight your improvements. Why can't you just take a compliment, man?
I'm going to take it. Just lob it up, thank you. I'm going to score. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we back again. What we talking about, P-Dub?
This week, we all watched this show on Netflix called Social Dilemma. And, you know, if you watch the episode, if you watch that, you know, take your time out to look at just the time that we spend on our phones and just how we're connected to the internet and all the stuff that's out there, just how deep it all is. So we just going to give our perspectives on what we thought of the show and, you know, just some thoughts we had that stemmed from it just after watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was more so intrigued just because of how ingratiated into society the need for technology seems to be, right? I mean, it's like literally it's addictive. Yeah. Like we're on a platform now, obviously, you know, delivering content, but if you look at it from a different perspective, you know, how content is being delivered or how you're consuming content. I mean, that social dilemma kind of pull the wool from people's eyes, I think, if you get a chance to watch it. And so, yeah, my thoughts there. I mean, we can start getting into it.
Yeah, it's so crazy how y'all talk about it, is how addictive it is. It's like a drug because the movie, the way it unfolds, it helps you get into the mind of the brightest people who are designing these applications and products that you are using out there. Mm-hmm. And let's start off with the whole term user. And here's a direct quote that it shows in the movie. There are only two industries that call their customer users: illegal drugs and software. That was from Edward Tuff. And that's so true because we are users. Because some people look like they're hypes. We are so addicted to it. And it talks about how these programs are designed to get into the inner core of your brainstem, the inner core of your psyche subconsciously so that you will take an action that they want you to take.
Wow.
I'm just going to just stop right there so you can actually just let that dive into your soul, because these applications are configured to emotionally and psychologically, put you into a place where they are running and designing your life.
Yeah, but then you get to the balance of it, and a balance between the good and bad, because all the stuff was created out of what can do to benefit and to do good, but at the same time, it's so open out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The world is so open, and anybody's like all the information and data's there. Right. Everything's being captured, and
everybody's not good. Everybody doesn't have the best interest at heart.
Everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart.
Right, and that's even when you design their products, right? I mean, like you were saying, WB, like user. So at that point, it sounds addictive, right? Yeah. Like it sounds addictive.
If you're not paying for the product, then you are the product.
Yeah.
Yep. That was real.
When I heard that, I was like, wow.
Because, I mean, you think about it, like how many hours a day do we spend on these applications, you know, Facebook, Instagram, anything like that?
Companies like that, all the Snapchat, Instagram, they all competing for attention. So, like, they all trying to build everything so that you're going to focus on this app. Because, like, all the time, like, we always talk about it, like, if you say something, like, the phones are always listening. Like, if I say PS5, since that's going on right now, I'm going to get something on my phone later on that said, oh, okay, you said that PS5. Did y'all get it? Anybody get it out there? I got one for myself, though. I ain't
Of
gonna lie.
course you did. That's why not. Work
Ain't
hard,
no
play
wrong
hard,
with that.
man.
We're gonna put a round of applause for that. I know there was some
Real.
blood, sweat, and tears to get
Work
that thing,
hard,
boy.
play hard, man.
You probably
I just
defeated
lucked up,
some
man.
bots.
Just lucked up, man. Just lucked up.
But
Got the luck of
using
the
that
draw.
again for good, right? You're able to relax, escape, play your video games, but on the darker side of it,
Yeah,
right?
I'm just thinking of it
because
because everything going on, that COVID and stuff right
Yeah.
now. You think it's going to be locked down again? Everything going on.
there could be some lockdown status. Man,
I'll stay locked down with that for right now, so we're good. But
Let me tell you a quick story to interject right quick. So back to the thing about technology listening. So my wife was about to head out. She had a little outfit on. She's looking fabulous and fine as usual, as my queen does. So the question came up, what shoe should I wear? And one was an open toe, one was closed toe. I was like, well, baby, it's cold outside. You're going to wear that closed toe. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want them feet out there and they're going to get cold. Because my baby hate getting cold. You got to know your spouse. So, as it transpired, she asked Alexa what the temperature was. It's 45 degrees. Would you also like me to recommend what to wear during the weather? Come on now.
Wow.
That can't be happenstance. That can't be circumstance. I was watching The Social Dilemma at the same time as this happened. I just looked right over to her and didn't say nothing, but just bat my eyes. Because that's how real it is. Like, this technology is set up to listen to us and play on that. But, as you also said, too, we need to focus on the positive, too. Because a lot of the stuff that is showing up in social injustice in terms of the movement and the craziness that is going on to us in the black community could not have been seen without this social media.
Right. And that's the aspect of just straight live, right? You can see it in real time. So there is no chance to go, let me doctor this up. And so that obviously that's a terrible tragedy to witness in any sense of it. But without that technology piece, nobody would have been able to kind of see the treacherous, heinous act of things that have been happening for years, killing black folks. But this is not the episode to dive deep into that. But technology used the wrong way can always hurt. And I mean, with the social dilemma, I mean, just think about the name of the title. I mean, it's like I said, it's so woven into society right now. We're getting stuff sent to our home. Like, you just click a button on the app and it's here. So where's the urgency in I need to be assertive with my time, or I need to be better with, being about something other than sitting around and pushing buttons, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm saying it's a you have to be aware of it. And what Social Dilemma did for me personally, it already awoken something that I knew was kind of looming, right? Just being in the STEM field. Understanding, there's AI out there, artificial intelligence, things like that are being created, recreated, the Internet of Things, IoT. That's just continuous streams of data being understood, being massaged, being, replicated. And imagine if you just never went to sleep and you just continuously learned. Right.
And that's the thing that movie also highlights as well. It's not about them capturing our data and selling our data. Who cares about that? I mean, it's going to happen regardless. It's more so, what are they doing with your data? And what they're doing with this data is that they're creating models to make you make a different unconscious decision on a day-to-day basis, which is more than likely paid for by some form or fashion.
Get the
advertising money.
Yep.
Because that's how the business model works.
Consumer producer.
There's three goals that it has. That is an engagement model, so they want to see how long you're going to stay on there for the screen time. Yep. There's a the growth model, you know what I'm saying, to see if I can get P-Dub Drip Chronicles to tell about his flashy friends about what's going on out there, and it grows like that.
And the last one is advertisement.
Yeah, for sure.
And all the stuff is ran by algorithms. So what the good in it is trying to provide an easier life for you and trying to make the things beneficial to, like, what are you looking at and what your focus is. So, like, how much is the things like this helping us, like, help us start our business? Because you can, like, being able to run our businesses, our side businesses, and what we're passionate about, and being able to broadcast that to people for sources of, like, you gaining prosperity and income and extra side business, hustle.
Right.
Yep. So you can use it as a powerful tool for the good as well, because it keeps all these things in a certain point. You're able to pitch your, you're able to hustle a little bit harder through the virtual and being out there word of mouth, because, times like COVID, being able to get things out there and provide your services for whatever your business or your grind is, it helps bridge that gap.
Yeah. I had a question for you, P-Dub. So, when you watched it, did you watch it by yourself, or was it like, did you have your son with you? Like how did you watch it? If
I watched it my first time. I just watched it by myself because I just wanted to see like what it was. Just just sat down one day and just watched it by myself before I exposed my son to like everything that's behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because it affects a lot of the people of the younger generation. So I wanted to know like, hey, what's to this first? And then I plan on watching it again with him just so he can understand. And, I kind of want to feed, like, he's at that age, 15, where it's like, he's trying to understand things and life. He's more knowledgeable about things. So he's, he knows what's going on out there, and I just don't know how far deep he is into it. So I want to bring that to him because he's excelling at his grades and stuff for right. Right now, first year of high school, everything being virtual. Just trying to understand that it's a whole different environment than what he's used to. So he's excelling at that, and I'm proud of that. So I just want to see, like, I don't want to push everything on him at one time. Just all this change and all this, him having to adapt. So I want to watch it again. So I set out some time next week that we're going to go ahead and check it out.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, that's good. I think that would be an interesting watch for him for sure. And I think another quote that highlighted the power of how these decisions were made, about, once again, how a bunch of people, white men, went through and built some things that have so many more ramifications in the world that they may not even know. That everybody has good intentions and you start that way, but when money gets involved and the game changes, you never know how it is. That's why we, as 2CGMH, 3 black men in STEM trying to win, are trying to get us into these rooms so when these decisions are made, we can at least be considered and not wrote out the script.
Yeah.
One of the direct quote, never before have 50 designers, 20 to 35 male white guys in California made decisions that would have an impact on 2 billion people. 2 billion people will have thoughts they didn't intend to have because a designer at Google said, this is how notifications work on the screen you wake up to in the morning. That was Tristan Harris, who was a Google ethicist. He was in the movie. That is very deep right there. And if you can put just even a cent on that 2 billion, think about how much money is being made out there. I'm so torn because also that is what I do at work. I'm a product manager, and God has blessed me and steered me on a way where I was reading things like The Lean Startup by Eric Reis and the product Playbook. And that's an extension of the Lean Startup. It talks about how do you run a business where you're running a lot of experiments of your time. You want to do things as quickly as possible, eliminating waste so you can build, you can learn, and then you can measure and repeat that cycle. Applying that to the aspect of product management, you want to do the same thing, but in software and design. But in this book, it talks about specific tests that can be psychological tests to figure out what you can do. There's a term called A/B testing. P-Dub Drip Chronicles, he has Amazon. It knows what type of things he's like. It knows his browsing history. It knows what he likes. So he may be able to see a certain button or something that's very subtle in his app that I, WB Fly With Me, do not have in my app versus Al the Architect. They are testing different things that you see to figure out how to get a better response rate, a better engagement rate, whatever the proxy metric is at that time to figure out if whatever you implemented is a good feature or not, or is it successful for the business. So doing that knowledge up front on the upfront helped me understand a lot of the stuff that's going on right now, but at the same time, I have to be real with myself. And just like in the movie, they also said, just because you know how everything works doesn't mean you won't fall victim to it, because I do fall victim to it. I was watching the movie and couldn't get off my phone.
Right. I mean,
because it's like
it works. It works.
And we live a lean lifestyle.
It works.
Just having the things there to help you make your life easier. It's just you don't want to fall into the dark side of it where, you know what I'm saying, it's taking advantage of what you're trying to get on. If you focus on it more than you focus on
your family,
what's going on
your
in
friends,
the household.
You know, your goals, your visions.
Yes.
Then you're doing it a disservice to yourself. And that's where it's so tough, because just being in STEM, honestly, man, like, you get hit with a lot of ethical decisions, right? Well, I mean, you're talking about, like I said, billions of people's data. You know more about themselves than some of their family members know.
Yeah, let me ask you a question that they asked in the movie. Since you are the architect, how do you get out of the Matrix if you don't even know you're in the Matrix?
Hey, first step is awareness, bro. And I'm saying when I saw this movie, I'm not saying go, and judge your life or live your life by a documentary. But what I'm saying is that if any of that is true, you owe it to yourself to go do research and figure out how you are being affected by the technology that you are on day to day. I mean, because honestly, like I've had to scale back personally because, I mean, that's what I was doing. I mean, I'm talking about designing cloud architecture, things like that. You're talking about right there in the cloud, literally architecting that solutions for better customer engagement, better troubleshooting of problems. So when you understand certain things, you start to move a little differently, right? And the thing is, you have to understand it's about data, right? And so now you're getting data as a person. We're talking about this, and hopefully you guys go check out the documentary. We ain't pubbing for Netflix, but it's just
but before y'all do that, y'all need to comment, y'all need to subscribe, y'all need to rate Two Shy Guys a Mile High on iTunes. You can't rate on Spotify, but at least just follow us, listen to us, hit us up on our Instagram, Two Shy Guys a Mile High, and on Twitter, Two Shy Guys a Mile HI, so we can get some data about what we can do to make the show a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? We ain't no machines. We just trying to help educate and hope spread the messages.
We trying to do our own type of machine learning, trying to figure out what you guys like and try to provide that information the right way.
Right.
Check it out. But the new technology that's out there with the phones, you can look in, and we look at data and stuff all day trying to figure out what the trends are. So, like, it's a metric on the Apple products. It tells you, like, how many times you picked up your phone, so you can actually start gauging that, because you got to use them limiters in there to let you know, hey, am I on this app for too long? Have you ever used those?
I have not, to be honest with you. And the fact that you pointed that out to me, I see it sometimes. It'll say, oh, your screen time is down, 15% or something. I'm like, oh, that's good. But what was it before? Like, it was down. Was it 8 hours? Is it down to 7? That's still bad. So to know that there is some type of awareness, even by the makers of the product, right? They realize, like, even though we don't know where this train is going, we're going to at least give people options, hopefully, to help govern, like, the usage.
I'm looking at mine today. I picked up my phone 56 times.
Wow.
Like. But for productivity was the highest thing there, because I was in my notes taking notes on, like, things that I'm doing, and then my messages, and then you on the social media, so it's all part of the thing. It's kind of crazy just looking at it real time to see, like, what I was doing, the time that I was in each of the apps, and trying to figure all that. So make sure you take a look at that and see how much time that you're spending on these, because you can't put limiters on there to let you know, hey, if I go over 5 minutes looking at this, hey, I need to cut it down. But
and imagine if that's on your phone comparative to the makers.
Yeah, for real.
So I'm just like you. I didn't have to be in tech to know that, right? It's just like, well, if I have this phone and I'm getting certain metrics here, well, I mean, they run the metrics. So
they've always had it. They just decided to expose it to you because they can hide whatever they want to. I mean, they're designing the whole system.
Listen, you got to protect your data. Just as a business owner myself, just like protecting your house.
Got? Pull it up and see what yours got.
Oh, this is not my phone here, but let me go to my phone. Let's see. I don't know.
I think the listeners deserve to see this.
I guess they want to see how much.
I ain't gonna fraud. See, I'm two phone shouty, so I can't disclose. Where you go? You go it's spread over 2 things.
Screen time? Is that what it is?
Well, let me see what we got.
Okay, look at that. Daily average. That's 3 hours 58 minutes. Down 15% from last week.
See, they both got Apple. I gotta figure out how to find mine.
Oh, it's got Apple limits. Great. Okay, they got a limit.
How many pickups you got?
I don't even know where that's go. Let me see. You gotta click on there.
I don't know.
It says see all activity. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Most used messages, obviously, texting back and forth to the fam and Gmail. And then the next is Zoom calls and student. Isn't that something? And then Facebook is down in there. I think that's an hour. That's weekly. Okay, that's not bad. So I mean, okay, daily pickups. Okay, daily pickups. There we go. Daily average 122. Down 10% from last week.
Right now.
What is this? How you go? I don't even know how to do this. I'm just really going down the line. Let's show more.
All right, mine was a little bit
extra. What you got, WV?
So today, I'm just seeing where most of my stuff is on this phone. It said messages phone, Gmail. It looks like my screen time, I would say my average, which is close to my median, which is about 2 hours.
Yeah.
From the perspective of my metrics, they do spike up. Looks like I'm spending 3 hours on my phone, 3 hours and 9 minutes on my phone on Friday, 3 hours and 25 on Saturday, 1 hour and 44 minutes on Sunday. So if I were to think about that, I'm like, all right, you got 24 hours a day. I got 8 hours of rest, which I don't get. So that's 16 hours.
8 hours.
You know, shout out to 8 hours. But it's the weekend. I'm not working, so I'm spending about half a work day on my phone. Is that enough? Is that the amount of life energy that I want to invest in my phone? On the weekend, I could say, it's all good.
But you could be sending emails too, like getting stuff done for the house. I'm on my phone a lot because I'm moving. I'm never
data's power though.
Yeah,
it looks like because I'm looking like through the past at least like 3 weeks, and it's definitely like peaking around that. So you definitely can get the right trend to figure out what you need to do. Clearly, yes, looks like I spent roughly an hour on Instagram daily. So am I cool with that? I guess, but who knows how much I was on for my own personal use versus two Shy Guys a Mile High, just trying to pump the vibes. Bars. But awareness is a good thing. I think that was something that is good that you highlighted, P-Dub. Another thing that you can do also is you can put other things on your phone to block notifications or block them yourself, or you can make sure that they're not everything is making a sound, so you don't look like a little crackhead looking around when every single sound goes off in your head. If you install applications, you can read through the terms of service, even though that is a little bit extreme, but they are getting better with letting you know about what data you are potentially exposing when you are using their application as well, too. So at least they are being a little bit more upfront about what are the things that they're tapping into when you install an app on your phone.
Do you use, I think we talked about this too, Dub. Do you use VPNs at all? Like for added protection, things like that?
I need to get strapped up because riding around out there without that VPN, you're going to set yourself up. And
that's a virtual private network. And so the reason I ask that is because it gives you a different layer of protection. So what it does, it virtualizes your entire network and your entire system to like a cloud system almost. And now you have a virtual machine with VM in kind of a space, if you will, and it is not directly connected to your home computer, so you can operate in the cloud space versus operating directly on your personal computer. So if your system gets compromised, then you're able to easily keep that hacker or that person from trying to get into your system because it's not directly connected to your physical system. It's connected to a virtual private network, and so.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so you hear people talk about VPNs, things like that. It gives you a virtual kind of a virtual space to work in, right? Yeah. So it's not your personal home network of P-Dub. It's not just here it is on the network. I can see it. It's like no, now you're seeing a virtualized version of your network, and you're still able to operate peacefully in that manner,
And that's how people are able to work at home because you have your own home network, you have your own internet connection, then you log into something, the VPN, where it thinks that you are on the network, that you are at work. And that's how working from home works as well, too. So we just want to educate people about how the whole ecosystem
and there's a lot more obviously, technical jargon that happens behind the scenes. But the crux of it is it gives you an added layer of protection, almost like a skin, right? Where nobody can kind of get into your network. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So just look at that. I mean, just certain things that, if, each one teach one, because that's not something that I would have known if I'm not in the STEM field, right? I mean, how many people are just exposed out here? They just got their home network open. Exposed. Password is only go so far. They got password crackers and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
and a lot of people be having the passwords with the same passwords.
Right.
Passwords from the other passwords.
Right.
So you just gotta switch it up.
Don't use money as a password. God, those numbers, things like that. So, yeah.
I thought the movie overall was real good. I think there were some good bars out there, and how it's on us to make sure that we are doing what we can to make the physical world a better place. knowing how to unplug, how to be intentional with what we're doing on there, how to disassociate yourself from the online opinions sometimes, and making sure that you're doing your own facts and research.
Yeah,
because fake news, quote unquote, what they said in the movies, that it's 6 times more popular than real news. So how are you fighting a battle where the fakeness is overriding what's really real? And another quote that one of the brothers, I think he had dreadlocks, man. He looked like he was a cool dude, but he's like, I'm trying to help Silicon Valley out so it don't destroy the world. But his name is Jerron. He said, we have created a world where online connection is primary. I think he said primal. The very meaning of culture and communication is manipulation, deceit, and sneakiness at the core of everything we do.
Wow. I'm very high optimism, man. I
am too.
And it's just, but the thing is, I mean, you got to think the opposite. Unfortunately, there is evil in the world. I mean, there are people that will use the platforms that they have for evil, and I mean, I think that's
straight
the only
Darth Vader.
But for real, but anything can be misused, right? I mean, you know, and it's trust that's involved here. And the same thing when you trust somebody, it's like, hey, here I'm opening up my heart to you. I'm opening up my world to you. The same thing. It's the data, right? Because that is kind of you in a digital sense, right? Like this is.
And I got a question for you, Al. So, like, just because you got the experience from the older generation kid, and then you got the younger generation kid. So, how do you look at that? Because, like the B said, the online connection is becoming primary, especially in the younger generations, and then people they evolve to care about whether other people in their circle care about like what matters and stuff like that. So like if somebody doesn't get a like or somebody doesn't get somebody to follow them and you know what I'm saying, to like their picture, then they start feeling a certain type of way. So how do you have a conversation about, you know, your kid, he's probably getting into like social media and what it is. How do you give them the aspect to not get enveloped in it and not let it run their daily life trying to, you know what I'm saying, progress? Because, you know, I know you lead by example your own way, but I know with these things, it's a powerful tool and you can get, you know, stuck in the hypnotized by it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's super tough now, especially with for our 6-year-old school going virtual, right? So it's like, how do you set these limits and say, hey, but you use it for school and you can sit in front of the screen and talk to your friends and teachers, but hey, now you can't get on the screen and, you know, our son loves Minecraft. Like, you can't play Minecraft because it's, you know, all the time. That's what he loves to play. He'll play that forever. So it's I think as parents, like just from a parental perspective, you have to limit that. You know what I'm saying? And that also means, like you said, leading by example. That means not always running to your phone and setting that precedent for them to think that, oh, well, dad and mom was doing it, then that's something that I should be doing as I'm getting older, because that's what it means to be an adult, right? Because I'm learning as a parent, they're always watching you. You know what I'm saying? Whether you know it or not, and you know they're going to pick up some bad habits from you, but you have to guide them through that. Yeah. And the same thing with this social media boy. Like obviously he's not going to watch The Social Dilemma at 6. You know, we have a 4-year-old, but our 22-year-old, you know, he sat down and watched with us. And so from his perspective, I was able to see him grow really without that tech. And now him being in that world trying to do computer science, he understands the succubus nature of something that's alluring, right? So he gets no, but I'm saying, like, we talking real. You gonna get all of it here,
architect.
And so he gets it. And so I was able to kind of be there and coach him through that. And so I think, you know, Mary and I feel we've done a good job there. Now he's, you know, about to be 23. Shout out. He's got a handle on his own way, right? And he's good. He's going into that space. He'll have me to talk to about it, and you guys to kind of guide him through it as well. But for our 6 and 4-year-old, we have to obviously be a little more diligent there, obviously, and be very intentional of what they're looking at. If there are times where they do get more screen time than others, but you can't escape it.
That's why me and Tasha, we kind of set that standard as well, to just get that time where we all spend it together. Where,
yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
You set the pace and the routine. So, we're not gonna, at the table there are no phones, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I think as you continue to set that precedence and you set it and do it yourself, then it eliminates the excuses for them. Well, you said it and you're not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Those traditions, man. Then we can look back on it. And me and Tasha can just vibe and be like, hey, we did these things. We put these standards in place. And, it helps them out. Because, right now he getting all A's right now.
Yeah.
Because we having that time after school.
Shout out to Black Excellence.
Yes, sir. So we getting those A's and being able to have that conversation just like, okay, you doing your thing right now. And it's, it's going to matter later just to... Because, hard work pays off. And all the time that we, right after school, we sit down, we talk about homework. We talk about, like, what type of, like, energy he's getting from the teacher. Because, you got to be tapped into exactly, like, your child's thoughts. So,
and that's the only way to have open communication with him,
open communication. Yeah. Like, we talk, like, we sit down. Like, he knows when we having a real conversation. You set that tone, and you're just like, okay, for real, we being serious right now. Because, I'm going to joke around. I'm going to just have fun with it. So, just knowing that, he's in a good place and being able to open up and let me or Tasha know, like, everything's going good. Like, I'm getting the right type of feedback from, the place I'm going to school. And
that's all you can do. And that's all you can do. Just really, really being real with you as a parent. And I want to get your take on it, not as from a parent, but just...
I had a question for Phil, actually.
Okay.
We started getting a question. How did you keep your queen encouraged? How do you keep yourself encouraged about the different images that are out there and making sure that you're not falling victim into the comparison mentality and that no relationship is perfect. No person's body is perfect, and how God made us how we are, and it's on us to become our best selves as he sees fit in his will. Amen. So staying away from the worldly distractions.
Because it's just about letting each other know that affirmation and letting you know that we got each other and, our family is protected. Our core beliefs are protected and being open and just having that constant dialogue where you're trying to improve each other. So we sit down, we have talks where we're just trying to, air out everything that's going on. Just be real, no sugarcoat. We can have fun with it. Just keep that constant communication.
That dialogue.
That dialogue. And
yeah,
When you sit down, you have those praying times where you pray about things that's going on. And like you said, everything's not going to be perfect.
Shout out to communication. Go check out that previous communication episode once again, but keep it going, Drip Chronicles.
Yeah, man. It's just about having that just open dialogue. Like I said, just being just overly communication. I'm not the best at it all the time, so that's where that we get that deflect sometimes. Mm-hmm. But just
clarity. Yeah, clarity, man. Because when you don't know kind of where that person's head is, like it's hard to make decisions together, right? Because I'm not a mind reader. I know you guys are not a mind reader, so it's like that constant space to say, hey, like you have with PJ, right? Come on, let's just have a conversation. There's no judgment zone. I just want to figure out from your perspective what's going on, and you listen, and then you set the tone. You know what I'm saying? Just like we're talking about the standards of with anybody, you set the tone, the boundaries. Like, hey, we're going to have a safe space to communicate. Bring it all here. We don't have to, be at each other's, necks about it. We can have fun. We can figure it out, and we can grow together. And that's the end goal.
Yeah, mm-hmm. But you gotta disconnect sometimes and just have that in person time.
Yes, sir.
Just let's talk. Let's hear what how your day been, and we always get to the point where we say, hey, how's the day going? Like, what's going on? How can I help? But then you go about your own other business, and we both got our side hustles that we're working on, mm-hmm. our team hustles that we're working on. So just, knowing that we're working towards the same goal,
right.
And then we can come together at the end of the day and game plan for the next day.
Yes,
game plan for the next day.
And the architect said, let the needling begin when the episode started. And this is going to be a first on the 2CGMH podcast. In the communication episode, you talk about the 5 C's of communication. Can you say them right now? I will give you $5.
You talking to
me?
Yes, you, the architect.
How long we been going? 33?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring them out. Let's see. Clarity.
Clarity.
Clarity. Clarity is a connection. Oh, goodness.
I'm not even prepared to know that.
Consistency.
I don't think.
Did I hit them? I got 2 more. Y'all hit me at the end of the episode, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
It's all about making each other better.
I know. I can't think of the other 2. That's so bad.
You know what? That should be motivation for everybody and ourselves to go back and listen to that communication episode that I'm trying to,
No consistencies in there?
Yeah. Oh, here it is. What is it?
What is the other ones? Content, that's one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Content, creativity, consistency. clarity. Mm-hmm. What's the last one?
It's connection.
Connection. There it is.
There we go.
It's all about connection. Thank you. Thank you for that. No, we go back and check that out because it's really important. We joke and jest, but I think the one thing that we all really stress is, especially around these times, guys, keep reaching out to your loved ones. Keep connecting with each other. Keep the communication lines open. I don't care how awkward it gets. I don't care how strange it might feel. You guys, we have to communicate as a unit. We have to understand that these times are going to pass. Check it out. Communication. It's Al Digger, the architect.
He just going the opposite. The episode like that.
Just like that, man.
He's just gonna try to drop the mic like that, man.
I feel you, man.
Yeah, you was out here like, we ain't gonna close out the episode the right way. That's why we have Drip Chronicles start the episode and end the episode. There's a reason.
Well, we all got
that is not a social dilemma. But
hey, shout out to the fans. We appreciate you listening. Thanks for tuning in. Please share the episode with anybody you know. Share it with your mama. Share it with your dad. Share it with whoever you got. Share it with your family. And we appreciate all the listeners as always. This your boy P-Wil, Drip Chronicles.
It's your boy WB. Come fly with me. Before we go, I just want to leave you one thing in mind that you need to think about. Everything you are doing online is watched, is tracked, and measured. So be mindful and be intentional.
It's your boy Al Digger, the architect, signing out, man. We love y'all. We appreciate it.
And go follow us. 2 Shot Guys a Mile High. Mamba out.